Right now, you are looking at less than 0.1% of the ocean's total volume. Everything you've ever seen in a photo, a documentary, a vacation, the surfers, the coral reefs, the sunsets over the water, all of it happens in a thin blue skin stretched over something almost incomprehensibly deep. Because if you started sinking right now and kept sinking for over an hour, you still wouldn't hit the bottom. You'd just keep going, down and down, into cold and pressure, and a darkness so complete your eyes would stop even trying to adjust. Today, we're going to sink, layer by layer, and by the end, you'll understand why scientists have mapped more of the surface of Mars than the floor of our own ocean. Section 1. The sunlight zone, 0 to 200 meters. This top layer is called the sunlit zone, or the epipelagic zone. It only goes down about 200 meters, roughly the height of a 60-story building, flipped upside down into the water. This is the only part of the ocean where plants can survive, because this is the only part where there's enough light for photosynthesis. 90% of all marine life you've ever heard of, sharks, whales, sea turtles, tuna, lives almost entirely in this thin top layer. And already, most people assume this is the ocean. It's not even close. Section 2. The Twilight Zone, 200 to 1,000 meters. Past 200 meters, you enter the Twilight Zone. And here's where things get strange. Sunlight is still technically present here, but it's so weak that plants can't use it anymore. It's light you can detect, but not light that sustains life. This is also where you start meeting creatures that make their own light. Bioluminescence isn't rare down here. It's normal. Scientists estimate that up to 90% of animals in this zone can produce their own glow, using it to hunt, hide, or lure prey directly into their mouths. And by 1,000 meters, something happens that should genuinely unsettle you. Sunlight disappears completely. Not dim, not hard to see. 0 photons. This is the exact depth where day and night stop meaning anything. Forever. Section 3. The Midnight Zone, 1,000 to 4,000 meters. Welcome to the Midnight Zone. Total permanent darkness. No plants, no light. Temperatures hover just above freezing, and the pressure is now over 100 times what you feel at the surface. The creatures here look like nothing evolved for a world with light. Massive eyes to catch even a single stray photon. Bodies built like jelly because rigid structures would simply be crushed. Some fish here have translucent skin, because in total darkness, being transparent is actual camouflage. And this is the layer where we have to ask the question you're probably already wondering. Section 4. How deep can a human actually survive? Without equipment, an elite freediver, the best in the world, can reach around 214 meters, and even that pushes the human body to catastrophic limits. Lungs collapse to a fraction of their size. Blood shifts into the chest cavity to protect organs. One mistake, and the ascent alone can kill you. With scuba gear, humans can survive to around 100 to 130 meters before the risks of decompression sickness and nitrogen narcosis become deadly. Specialized atmospheric diving suits, essentially wearable submarines, can push a person down to about 600 meters. But past that, the human body is done. Not injured. Done. At depths beyond a few hundred meters, the pressure would collapse your chest, force your organs to fail, and do it in seconds, not minutes. The only reason humans have ever reached the true bottom of the ocean is because we stopped trying to survive it and started building machines that could survive it for us. Section 5. The Abyssal and Hadal zones, 4,000 to 11,000 meters. Past 4,000 meters is the Abyssal zone, meaning bottomless in ancient Greek, because for most of human history, we genuinely believed it had no floor. And then there's the Hadal zone, the deep sea trenches, named after Hades, the underworld. The deepest of these, the Mariana Trench, plunges down nearly 11,000 meters. If you drop Mount Everest into it, the peak would still sit over 2 kilometers underwater. At the very bottom, the pressure is the equivalent of an elephant standing on every square inch of your body, and yet life still exists there. Amphipods, translucent sea cucumbers, and bacteria that survive on chemicals instead of sunlight, in a place humans have visited fewer times than the surface of the moon. Section 6, the unsettling truth. Here's the part that should actually stay with you. We have better maps of Mars, Venus, and the far side of the moon than we do of our own ocean floor. Over 80% of the ocean remains unmapped, unexplored, and unseen by any human eye, light, or camera. Every time a new submersible reaches a new depth, we find species science didn't know existed, which means somewhere down there, right now, in permanent cold and permanent dark, there are almost certainly creatures no human has ever seen. The ocean isn't scary because of what we know is down there. It's scary because of how much we still don't. If this changed how you look at the water next time you're near it, subscribe. We go this deep into space, history, and the natural world every week,